away and I called my wife. And I called my wife and I said, honey, I can't do it anymore. I can't work with these guys. It's so frustrating. It's not going the direction that I wanted to, and I just need to make some decisions. And my wife, who's just absolutely one of the most incredible people in the world, looked at me and said, honey, now that you know, quit. And I said, well, it's not that easy. I can't just quit. I run the world for the company. I have to make sure that they're operating. I have a commitment to them. I have a promise and an obligation, so I can't just quit. But now that I know I'm thinking about quitting, it gives me an opportunity to start discovering some things. Well, now fast forward to 2 hours later. Think about that, folks. I left a meeting. 2 hours later, I received a text message. And it was from a very good friend of mine. And he said, Aaron, I need to tell you that I had a lunch meeting with a friend of mine today that talked about opening up a network marketing company. He wants to launch this company, but he needs some help. He needs somebody with background to help him and that has the experience. Would you be willing to meet with this guy? And I said, who's the guy? He said, his name is Steve Scott. I said, I don't know a Steve Scott, but let me see if I can reach out to him and have a discussion. Well, in the meantime, I had a phone call with my friend. It's a mutual friend of ours. His name's Justin Wilson. And Justin said, Aaron, my friend Steve and I had lunch today. We have lunch about every 6 months, and we sit down and we talk about Jesus. We talk about God. We talk about our relationship with heaven. We talk about our relationship with our families and our friends and our associates. We talk about our relationship with the Bible and the studies. And he said, at the very end of the meeting, I said to Steve, hey, how's your company going? Steve said, I'm going to launch a network marketing company, but I need somebody to help me run it. And Justin said, oh, I've got a guy by the name of Aaron Rennert. He might be able to help you. Well, now fast forward, folks. I had a meeting with Steve. This was 3 years ago. We sat down, we talked about everything. We talked about the incredible products. We talked about the science behind the products. We talked about the technology in order to develop and formulate and manufacture and produce the products. And I sat there with Steve and I said, I know a little bit about glutathione, not as much as Steve knows, but I know a little bit, and I know it can't get through the stomach. And Steve said, well, then I've got good news for you. The technology that I've been working on for the last few years can do just that. It bypasses the stomach. I said, how? How is that possible? Steve said, through nanotechnology, I can make the particle size so small that it can get in through your oral cavity, into your bloodstream, and into your cells in about 70 seconds. I said, unbelievable. Why? Because I know nutrition, and I know supplementation. I've worked in that industry for 13 years before I met Steve. And so I knew it, and I understood it. So when Steve is explaining things to me, I said, I get it. I understand what you're saying. And Steve said, good, because we've got something that nobody else has in the world, and I need your help to take it out to the world. And I said, then I'm going to help you. So Steve said, good, here's what we need to do. We need to meet with my son, Ryan. I said, okay, great, let's talk to Ryan. So we sat down with Ryan. Ryan is literally, and I'll say this openly, he's one of the co-founders of the company. He was right in the thick of it in order for us to develop the company that we have and really launch this thing. Because Steve is a guy that has the story and understands the model and understands marketing better than anybody. But Steve doesn't want to work in the day-to-day management. He wants to be a part of the strategy and the vision and the direction of the company, but he doesn't want to manage. He's done the management thing. He's been there before. So we sat down and we talked about everything. We talked about how we would launch and where we would launch and how we would get out to the markets. But most importantly, we talked about you. Why? Why would we talk about you? Because we need you more than you need us. We need you to go out and help people understand what we're about. We need you to help people understand what our technology is, what the science is, what the applications are. We need you to help people understand that they can change their lives. How? One life at a time. Literally. Steve will talk about it. He talks about it all the time. When you change one person's life, that changes a family. And when you change a family, that changes a generation. And when you change a generation, it ultimately compounds into generations. And that's what we're doing. We're going around the world and we're changing generations every time we speak in front of a group of people just like you. We have conversations. We talk about the important things in life. We talk about what drives us and what motivates us, right? We talk about the fact that it's unlimited, the potential that we have. We can do anything in this world. It's all right here that slows us down, right? It's all right here that limits us just a little bit because we don't know if we want to put ourselves out there. But like Mentor Anna said, she put herself out there. She said that she had been praying for an opportunity to come her way. Guess what? I was praying too. I just didn't know where it was going to come from. And when I met Steve, I found out there's my answer, right? How many of you are having answers to your prayers right now by learning about the things that you're going to learn today from some of the greatest minds in the industry? Because they're in our company. You're going to meet with Anna. You may not know her beforehand, but you'll know her afterwards. You may not know Michael Firth. Michael Firth is one of our founding Field Advisory Board members. He's one of our founding members of the company, but he's also a Crown Diamond with the company. He was one of the very, very first crowns in our company to take that place on the pedestal and really stand up there proudly and teach people and educate them and give of his wisdom and his background and his experience. And I'll tell you this, we have had calls going on for 3 years, Zooms and all kinds of different trainings and things that we do on a daily and weekly basis. And Michael Firth has been there every single day to make sure that we have a call going on as organized and as planned. And so thank you, Michael, for doing that. We always appreciate it. But guess what? As Anna talked about, Michael's not the only one. We have all kinds of incredible people that have really done a lot to develop this company. And Mark Rosario, Mark, where are you? Mark was one of our founding Filipino members, and his wife Annette. So when we think about the people that are involved in this company, we have some incredible members, some people that have incredible backgrounds and experiences to really help us. But like I said from the beginning, the people that we need are you. Look, we know what our job is as a corporate company. We know what our jobs are as executives and managers of our company. We know what our responsibilities are. And our responsibility is to you. So we're very different the way that we've structured our company. There are many companies out there that have structured their company to really be focused on the company. But we're not. We're focused on you. Why? Because it's you that brings your integrity. And it's you that brings your relationships. And it's you that brings people to our company. And it's because of you that they join the company. So guess what? We have to do a better job on our side to protect your relationships, right? Because people join people. They don't join the company, they join you. So we have to make sure that we are always way up here in the way that we start to look at how we drive the company's day-to-day operations. We are here to support you. That's our job. So when we set out to set up this company, it was a gift from God to me that said, meet Steve Scott. How many of you do you think that are out here that something happened where all of a sudden you're in this room today? What happened? How did you end up here? What happened in your life? Who called you? Who sent you a text message? Was it afterthought and prayer and consideration that you were looking for something? What happened to get you here today in this room to take time out of your Saturday? You could be with your family, you could be laying on your couch watching TV, you could be doing something completely different than what you're doing right now, but you made a decision to be here. So what I always tell people, you've made a commitment to be in this room right now. What does that mean to you and your commitment? Open your minds. Think about the things that we're going to talk about today. Be willing to be vulnerable. Be willing to put aside some of your preconceived notions and think about the things that you're going to hear from incredibly talented people. When I sat down with Steve Scott the very first time, he put the product about an arm's length away from me, right? So I'm sitting with the product, Steve's explaining it, and I'm hearing all of these things. Now remember, I love nutrition. So I'm hearing Steve talk about product, and I'm saying to myself, I got to get that product. I need to take it right now. Do you guys do that? And somebody explains something and you say, I got to have it right now in my stomach so it gets in my brain, and I can use the product, and I can have incredible energy, and I can have stamina, and I can have endurance. That's what Steve's telling me. You know why? I've never met somebody that knows more about our product and about the ingredient called glutathione than Steve Scott. There's not a person in the world that knows more, in my opinion, than Steve Scott does. And here's the interesting thing. If I asked Dr. Joey, what did you know about glutathione before you learned about Numi? What did you know?
Well, we know it as an antioxidant, and the side effect is whitening. That's generally all about what medicine is. Yeah, people are aware of it, and they come to the clinics because they want to be lighter in color. But now it's a different story, and I'm even amazed when I learn about it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And here's the thing, is that when Steve and I went to Cuba 2 years ago. We went to Cuba. It was a doctors' convention for the World Congress of Ear, Nose, and Throat Doctors. Okay? The World Congress came to Cuba to go to a conference and learn more about how they could be a better doctor. We were invited to speak at the conference. Steve was the keynote speaker to open the conference. And Steve asked the question right when he started. Steve said, by a raise of hands, by a show of hands, how many of you doctors know about glutathione? And guess how many hands went up of about 300 or 400 people? 4 hands. 4 hands. I looked around the room and I said, 4 people know about glutathione out of all the doctors from around the world? People from Spain and Turkey and America and Mexico, all over the world. Only 4 people knew about glutathione. So when we were done with that convention, that conference, every person there knew about glutathione. And at the very end of the 3-day convention, we said, we have some samples in the back for you. Now, if you've ever seen doctors run over the top of other doctors, I've never seen it before in my life. It was crazy. It was mayhem. People running for the back of the room, trying to get our product, knocking product and knocking bottles off the tables and reaching under the tables and pushing people out of the way and knocking doctors out of the way so they could get their product. And then when we were out, they were climbing under the tables and climbing under and asking us, do you have any more products? Because they wanted the products that badly. Here's why. Because we have something that nobody else in the world has. We have a science and a technology that we have developed that nobody else has. So we have something that when Anna talks about the hype that most companies have to have, we don't have to have the hype. It works. Use the product. Use it on your face. Take your befores. Give yourself a day, a week, a month, whatever you want, and take your afters. And start to document it. Our beautiful models are young and beautiful. But I'm old, and I have wrinkles. And I'm tired, and I just traveled here. So guess what I do? 3 or 4 times I swish a day while I'm traveling. Because I don't want to get jet lag, and I don't want to have a point where I may be too tired, or I may be fatigued or exhausted, and I can't stand up and talk to people. But guess what? I'm on our product. I don't have any problem. I'm awake. I'm alert. I'm ready to talk about it, right? Those are the things that we can give to people, but they're not things that many people will see. Oh, I don't feel that rush of caffeine like an energy drink. That's not what it is. It's clean energy. So when Steve and I set out to develop and construct this company, we wanted to do a couple of things differently than the traditional network marketing companies did. One, we didn't want to have enrollment fees. We didn't want to do enrollment fees. Why? You know, when you join another network marketing company and you have to pay 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 US dollars to join the company? Why? Why do you have to pay that? It just goes to their bottom line. So it's not that you're getting any tangible material for it. You're just getting an opportunity to work with their company. So in my opinion, we don't want to charge enrollment fees or annual renewal fees. We want you to be our partner. And I'm not going to charge my partner to be my partner. I'm going to make sure that my partner has the same opportunity. Sure, you're going to buy product. I buy product every month. I use massive amounts of product. I know where to get it. It's in our warehouse. So the good news is we've got a lot of great product and we can help people with these products. The most important thing is for you to learn as much as you can about the product line. And I always tell people, you don't need to be the message. Steve Scott is the message. I can be kind of the message. I'm not great, but I can be kind of the message. I can't be Steve. So you know what I do? I'm the messenger. I bring people to the message. And so when you hear Steve today, I promise you one thing. You're going to finish this meeting and you're going to be so incredibly moved by what Steve tells you that you're going to think, I have to learn everything that Steve knows. You don't. What you need to learn is that we have incredible videos. You saw a lot of them as we started the meeting today. You saw a lot of videos that we have. Steve's done a lot of videos to make sure that he's addressing the needs of the field so that you understand what it is that we have to offer. Those are the important things. So the message that we have is the message of really talking about the product and really talking about the science, really talking about PubMed. You know, when I started with Steve, I said to Steve, tell me a little bit about this ingredient. I mean, help me understand it. We looked at PubMed. What did it have, Steve? 150, 160,000 articles, I think, published studies on PubMed. Does anybody know what PubMed is? So PUBMED.gov is America's National Institute of Health. It's where we post all of our studies, and it's all done based on the fact that we have these incredible, knowledgeable scientists around the world